Hello guys, and welcome to the first video in my Python automation series. And in these videos I'm just going to be showing some simple Python automation projects, maybe make some bots and the like. So what I have here is a simple script that I wrote that does basically what you see on the screen, and it's playing the Chrome No Internet Dino game. It's playing it by itself. At the moment, I'm hands free. I'm not hitting any buttons. So this game is completely playing itself. It has no influence from me. So in this video, I'm just going to be walking you over as in how I actually did this, how I wrote the script. I'm not going to write it from scratch because it's not complicated, but there's just a lot of repetitive things we have to do here and then that just make it annoying. So I'm just going to walk you over what the code, through what the code actually does, and hopefully from that you learn some fundamentals if you don't already know about Python programming, and also the module we're going to be using today, which is PyAuto GUI. So let's begin. Okay, so let's begin. So at the beginning of our script here, all we want to do is we want to import PyAuto GUI, and this is basically just a module that allows us to simulate key presses on our keyboard or mouse movement. So it doesn't come pre-installed with Python, so you have to install it. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is on your keyboard hit Windows R, and let's open up the run window. What you have to do is enter cmd. Let's open up command prompt. After that you hit OK, and all you have to do there is basically just go pip install by auto GUI. This is actually how you install modules in Python. What to do is just go pip install and then just the name of the module. So if you don't know, well, now you know. Then just go hit enter, and what will happen is that this will start downloading. I obviously have no internet connection, as you can see from our little friend here, but what you see here is that since I've already installed it, it gives me requirements already satisfied. This is just some other stuff I don't actually care about right now, but yeah, so that's how you install Python modules. So what are we doing after that? Well, basically we have two variables which we declare here. This is white and this is black. So if you're not familiar with the way colors are represented, they're represented in what's called RGB, which is red, green, blue. We also have an extra value which is alpha, but we don't care about that right now. So 255, 255, 255, this is the color white, and then 000, this is black. So the RGB values of white and black. I don't need to explain how colors work. You can look up a video on YouTube or an article. It will explain that to you. So what we have here follows here is X offset, and what this is doing is that well, basically what we're doing is that before I get to what X is actually doing here, we have pause 2 and pause 3. You can ignore pause 1 here, it's not doing anything. It's just for testing purposes. But what these are doing is that they're actually allowing our dinosaur to have eyes. So if you've played the game, what you notice is that our little friend here basically can't see. He relies on us to actually jump for him and the like. So our little friend here is basically blind. These eyes are basically just decoration figures. So what we're doing here is that these two, they're actually creating a cone in front of our dinosaur here. So starting from here and here, and all these are doing is that they're basically granting him what I'm calling pseudo vision. And what's happening is that these pixels are actually what I'm using to sense whether something is in front of the dinosaur. So all this x value is doing that it's giving me an easy way of actually moving the pixels either further away from the dinosaur or closer. This is one thing that I found useful when I was debugging, when I was actually trying to find the perfect position to place the pixels, because the way I was actually finding the pixels here was that I created a simple Python script here which you can copy if you want to. But all this script is doing is that it opens up a small window, and I'm using the same Python also GUI module plus an extra module called Tikenta, which comes built with Python. It's basically just an easy GUI designing tool for Python. It's kind of powerful depending on how you look at it, but it doesn't create very professional GUIs. But forget about that for now. And so all I did was all I created was a simple button, and all you do is that when you click the button, it gives you the position of the mouse cursor at the point at which you click the button. So each time I click the button, as you can see, depending on where I click the button and the position of the entire window on the screen, the value there changes. So that's how I use this, what I did to actually get these individual pixels you see in my two-dimensional tuple here. And yeah, so that's how I did that. And then we have pause 4. So this is what we're doing to check whether it's day or night, and it's just a pixel somewhere here. And if it's black, we know at night, we know it's at night. And if it's white, yeah, so we know that it's during the day. And then we have a reset variable here, and all this contains these three pixels that are located somewhere here. And all these 3 pixels are doing is that they're letting us check that, okay, if all these if the game is over, we check these pixels right here. If those pixels are all black if it's during the day, or are all white if it's at night, then we reset the game. So this is basically just a way of you trying to get the best case scenario. So like what I did is that I actually let this run overnight, and then when I woke up, I found the highest score I've been able to achieve so far is 752, and that's using this method. So what would happen is that it would go, dies, restarts itself, go, dies, restarts itself, and that's basically how I got the best score. So possibly you might be able to get better scores. Again, I have my RAM to attribute it for that, because my computer is kind of slow, which if you've been following my videos, you might have already noticed that. But basically, moving on from that, we then have bio2GUI.move to, and all this is basically just a function that allows us to move the cursor from one position to another over a certain duration. So what happens is that whenever I hit start here, the mouse will automatically move to this position here, and this is all this is doing. It's basically moving from wherever the mouse is, it will move it to that exact pixel I want to move it to. And then all we're doing here on the click function is basically just selecting our screen, basically just starting up our screen here, and that's all the click function is doing. It's just simulating 2 double clicks. And then we have the press up function, which when we start, our little guy just jumps once. Yeah, so to just start up the game, that's if you just load up a new Chrome window. And then here we have where the logic is, and this is basically the easiest part. And all this is doing is that if it's during the day, and if either one of our pixels is black, we know something is ahead of the dinosaur, and we simulate a press up function, which basically just causes our player to jump. And if it's at night, we do the same thing, but in case any of our pixels there is white, or it's greater than black according to my logic here, we simulate a jump. So basically that's what the entire script does. So I'm actually going to go suicide here and actually try to run it. Let me show this. My PC is slow, so this might not run in the best way imaginable, trust me. But yeah, so as you can see, it automatically moved. I'm not actually holding it, but as you can see there, it's running itself. And you can leave this run for as long as you want. And that's also doing. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention how exactly it's working. Please forgive me. But basically what's going on here is that we're getting those pixels, right? But at the beginning right here on top, what we're doing is that we're actually taking a screenshot of the entire screen. we're taking a screenshot of the entire screen and then comparing those pixels. So PyAutoGUI has a function that allows us to take a screenshot. You can also save the screenshot if you want to, but since we don't actually care about the screenshot, we're not doing anything with it. So what we're doing is that taking a screenshot and doing all this logic right here, which is comparing the individual pixels. Yeah, so basically that's how this simple Python, you can say bot, you can say script. It depends with how you want to look at it. If you have better experience with programming, you might be able to make this better. But this is basically just my way of solving a fun problem, which is not, it's not actually a problem, but a fun game with a pretty simple solution that didn't take me a few days to write. Yeah, so yeah, peace. If you want, oh, and by the way, if you enjoyed this poorly directed video, and if you want any more videos like this or even better videos, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I beg of you, please. And yeah, you can also like the video if that's not an inconvenience to you. And without wasting any time, bye.